Hi guys, I'm going to be sharing my two go-to healthy, wholesome, creamy, plant-based sauces now that it's getting a little colder. So the first one is this foolproof, easy, fast weeknight cream sauce that just requires any store-bought non-dairy product and some flour or some cornstarch. So toss some olive oil into the pan and some onions. I'm using some pre-cut frozen onions here to make it even faster. I'm putting in some garlic powder to kind of toast it off with some Italian herbs, but the garlic powder kind of got too toasty, so I had to add some water so that it wouldn't burn. And this is just some dried rosemary, some black pepper, and some salt. And at this point you can add any vegetable you want. I chose mushrooms, but spinach is also really good. So this is the point you add your cream base. You can add non-dairy milk, or I mix some non-dairy cream cheese with some water to kind of loosen it up. But you can use any product you want. If you have non-dairy creme fraiche or non-dairy cream sauce, feel free to use that. And then mix it around so that it infuses with all the flavors. And then what makes it actually thick and not just liquidy is this cornstarch slurry that I made. All you have to do is mix 2 tablespoons of cornstarch or flour with some water and mix it into the sauce and then let it simmer, and over time it'll just thicken up and become this gorgeous sauce. While I was waiting for this sauce to simmer, I also had another pot going with some spaghetti, but you can also use this to top some rice or some quinoa or whatever carb or base you want. This also works really well with meatballs, as you'll see later on. I made some meaty zeitan meatballs and it goes so well. And feel free to also cook the pasta in the sauce for a while so that it becomes even thicker and even more luxurious. These are some zero waste meatballs, and recipe will be in the description. And number 2 is the veggie cashew cream sauce. This is super healthy and tastes literally like macaroni and cheese, but is plant-based and way better for your heart. I did this all in my pressure cooker, my Ninja Foodie, aka my baby, and I just added some vegetable oil and some of that frozen onion and sauteed it for a bit. While you're letting that cook and letting that flavor build, you can peel a potato and some carrots on the side. So whenever I buy carrots, I always peel them and put them in water because they just last longer that way. So I just grabbed some out of the fridge, threw some carrots in, and threw that potato in. And I thought I had butternut squash, but I didn't, so I ended up adding more carrots. But you can also put cauliflower or pumpkin or anything that has fiber and substance to make it creamier. And then here I'm just adding some Italian herbs, some garlic powder, some salt, and some pepper. This is also totally optional, but I added in some powdered broth. You can also add in a broth cube, or if you have homemade broth, you can also add that in. And I pressure cooked it for around 5 minutes, just until everything is soft. And while I was waiting for that, I ended up soaking some cashews in some hot water. And on the side, I was also cooking some pasta and thawing some frozen chickpeas for that extra protein. And before you know it, the vegetables will be done, so I threw in the cashews into a blender and the vegetables. And I used the liquid that the vegetables were cooked in as well. And then I also added in some nutritional yeast, or at least the German version, I don't know, this is beer yeast. And then just blend that baby up until it's creamy and smooth. To save on cleanup, I ended up using the same pot where I just dumped in the pasta and the chickpeas and then poured the sauce over it and then sauteed it for a bit. Obviously, you gotta add a squeeze of lemon to kind of lift up the flavor. And this may look like a humble meal, but I'm telling you, it's so comforting and such a good replacement for mac and cheese. And I ended up topping it with some parsley and some more nutritional yeast or beer yeast. I don't know, I'm in Germany. Nutritional yeast is really hard to come by. And obviously some sriracha, or you can add any hot sauce that you want. And there you go, 2 more recipes to add to your repertoire. Hope you enjoy!